The goal of your first couple jobs on Upwork is to get reviews and build your credibility, not make money. But how do you get hired when you have zero experience and a brand new profile? In this video, I go over 5 jobs that you should do if you're a beginner on the platform, as well as how to do them. 4 of these jobs are pretty common, but the last one I think is less common and a guaranteed win for beginners. Before making almost 30K on Upwork, here are my first 3 jobs. They were a total nightmare. I made a bunch of mistakes and was definitely underpaid, probably rightfully so. So those 3 jobs were content writing, backlinks, and some more content writing. The first job, I wrote some blog posts. The second job was backlinks. I helped gain backlinks for a website that helps you start an LLC. The third was more content writing. I wrote some posts for a dating website. So you can spend months on the platform not knowing what to do, wasting your time, money, and connects. Or you can join the Upwork Academy on School, where I'll personally walk you through step-by-step how to do your profile, how to send proposals, and how to get hired quicker. Within the School community, I have courses on SEO and AI. If you're interested, there's a link in the description to join the School community today. Plus, if you're following the courses inside and don't get hired within the first 30 days, I'll personally refund your money, no questions asked. Before you even create your profile on Upwork, there are a couple things you definitely need to understand. Until you show more money and credibility, it'll be extremely difficult to get hired. You're going to send out maybe 50 proposals, get hired for 1 or 2 jobs. So keep that number in mind as you start applying on the platform. However, you can up these chances by outworking the competition with these 2 things. The first, unfortunately, is underbidding. That means less money for you. I know, it sucks. The second is including a Loom video within every one of your proposals. This will set you apart from 90% of the competition. Oh, and there's a third way that I'll go over later on in this video. Now, let's get into these 5 jobs. The first one requires 0 experience, and you could probably do within an hour. And you can do for free without the use of any third-party apps. This is copywriting. This could be content for a landing page, sales page, product page, etc. The simplest way to do this is 1, listen closely to directions from the client. I know it's simple, but most people don't do this. 2, find and mirror a successful landing page that you've seen from the people in the same niche. 3, you could use AI to write most of this. However, I do recommend spending a long time editing and humanizing the content. Oh, and last tip, I recommend you write 2 full copies so that the client can A/B test landing pages, which is a huge thing. I think also it's important to show real value and go above and beyond, especially when you're new on Upwork and you're working towards getting those first 5-star reviews. Here's a landing page I did for an educational website. I created this in ChatGPT mostly and then humanized and edited it. I also kind of formatted it based on the landing pages provided by Ed Lawrence and James Smith. They're kind of the masters at landing pages. So I referenced their structure of their own landing pages and kind of mirrored that when doing this landing page. Next, we have a job that you can make $20 an hour up to $300 an hour doing. This is content writing. This is what I started with on Upwork, and I still do every now and then because the return on my time is pretty good. I think my first job, I charged $30 for like a 3K word post. Now I charge $250 for that same 3K word post. There's many ways to do content writing with AI these days. With all that being said, I do think it's still viable, even with so much AI slop going on. I've done these posts quicker with AI automation using make.com and NAN. I've also used apps like Koala to pump out these posts and then just edit them after. In another video, I'll go over how to do this quicker with AI and how I audit and how I humanize content. I'm not the total master at this. There are other channels out there who specialize in this. I think Nick Sorow has some of the best content out there for AI automation and kind of streamlining your content writing, as well as other processes with AI. So check him out for more information. In the future, I'll get out a video about how I personally do content writing with AI. The third way may seem technical and difficult for beginners, but I promise with the right tools, it's incredibly easy and you can make a ton of money for a short amount of work. This is performing SEO audit. I think when I started, I charged $200 for an SEO audit, and now people can charge up to $2K, $3K for an SEO audit, depending on the deliverable and the client. So with the right tools, you can knock these out within an hour. You need a website like Ahrefs or SEMrush, which does cost money. I think it's currently like $200 a month for one of these products, so you need one of those definitely. The next product you use is Screaming Frog. It just helps give you a high level of the headings and structure of each page on a website. The third is Page Speed Insights. This helps you view page performance. So all you do is use these 3 tools and then compile them into a PDF and break down the main issues that the site is facing, and then provide some details about how to fix those issues. I recommend always going above and beyond for SEO audits because oftentimes on Upwork when people ask for an SEO audit, they're really looking for monthly SEO work. So do the SEO audit right, and then hopefully you'll be considered for that long-term SEO work, which is where the real money is in SEO. Now the fourth job is cold email. Again, there are other resources on YouTube that do this better than me, but this is a job that just takes time and a little bit of skill and some third-party apps. Often clients will want someone to create and kind of automate their cold email process. Since it's mostly a volume game and not very technical, they're happy to outsource this to someone on Upwork, even if they're newer, especially if you can guarantee results and leads. Here's how you can do cold email with minimal effort. First off, you need an app to scrape contacts off the web. I think I've used Outscraper in the past, but there are other options out there. This does cost money though. The second is you're going to set up cold email. The app I've used in the past was Lemlist, but there are others out there that kind of push out cold email. And with that, of course, you're going to need multiple domains, so you can send out more email in a higher volume. I don't do much cold email now, so there may be other apps out there that are better than what I've used in the past. Oh, and I know I mentioned the third way to beat out competition when you're a beginner, and this has to do with personalizing and customizing your offer. This method is also why cold email works for some people and doesn't work for others. Personalizing your cold email is how you actually get responses and get leads. So say you're hiring someone to do an SEO audit on Upwork. and you see 2 people apply to your job. The first one says they specialize in SEO, keyword research, backlinks, competition research. The second only focuses on SEO audits, provides 2 examples of previously completed audits. Obviously, you're going to choose person 2. When someone mentions they're offering multiple unrelated services, it makes you think they don't specialize in that one service that you want, even if you do. So customizing and personalizing is what sets you apart, both in your proposals and with cold email. If you can connect with that person and you know what they want, you can structure your proposal or cold email in a way that hits on that exact thing and makes them want to reach out to you. The final job is the one that I mentioned that's easy, but often isn't completed by beginners. This job also requires you to buy some third-party apps, but I think it's super simple if you want to knock these out and get some credibility and reviews in the beginning. So I'm talking about getting backlinks for websites. The way I used to do this is I used to go on Ahrefs and review competitors of my client's site. And then I would go into their backlinks and see who is currently linking to their website. Then I would set up an automated cold email to reach out to these other websites and see if they're willing to offer my client a backlink as well. How people usually stumble on backlinks is the pricing structure. When I started, I used to charge $50 per backlink as a finder's fee. But this led to me getting a bunch of backlinks and offers for backlinks and the client not choosing any of them and me not getting paid at all. Now I offer a backlink package that I think is much more beneficial if you're freelancing. The package includes the cold email outreach, writing any guest posts or blog posts, and covering the cost of the backlink. So keep in mind, backlinks do cost money. The website owner who's giving the backlink often charges a fee. So make sure you bake this in to the cost that you're providing your own client. These can range anywhere from $50 up to $300, depending on the domain rating and the quality of the site giving the backlink. So for example, I'll charge a client $800 a month to guarantee 2 to 3 high quality backlinks. This is an easy way to get some reviews and credibility in your profile pretty early on, with very little technical experience. So among all these 5 jobs, I think the best one for beginners is content writing. I think because you could underbid a decent amount and get the job done in a short amount of time without too much hassle. It doesn't really require any expertise and doesn't require you to buy any third-party apps. Plus, you can always find ways to pump out content quicker and easier and make your hourly rate go down by quite a bit. Now that you have a general understanding of some of these easy jobs you should go for when you first start on Upwork, the next step is learning how to send proposals for these jobs. You can find out how to do that in this video here, where I go over all my tricks and tips for sending out proposals that actually get viewed and get you hired. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.